Good day, everyone. I'm Lady Alfonso, and I'm your TED Talker for today. Now that you know the different tools used in clinical area, in TED Talk 7, today I'm going to discuss on how to integrate technology in clinical teaching. Technology have a great impact in our society. It affects the way individuals communicate, learn, and talk. One of the aspects of technology that had a great impact is how it affects learning not only for students but for the educators as well. In the traditional model of nursing education in the clinical setting, the students are assigned to patients and work under the care of an instructor. Students are challenged to problem solve through the recall of knowledge at the bedside. As the technology advances, the ability to use and incorporate technology to clinical teaching for educators became significant to, to assist students develop their knowledge base, critical thinking, and clinical competencies. So, how can we integrate technology in clinical teaching? Integration of technology is the use of technology tools to enhance student learning experience by utilizing different types of technology like virtual classrooms, simulations, social media sites, and many more. Before choosing a technology to use, the clinical teacher should reflect on the learning objective and learning outcome first. This will serve as the framework of your learning activity. Second, identify on what is your educational intention or rationale for choosing that technology and what it can provide to your students. Third, consider the characteristics of learners you wanted to reach and the availability of the technology tools that you can use or you wanted to use. Technologies for Clinical Teaching, authored by Deborah Hagler and Kimberly Day, have provided 5 educational intentions when selecting technology to support educational strategies. First is through direct experience. You can use simulations, electronic health records, or virtual reality environments. Nursing schools can lease or purchase a simulated electronic health records. It provides realism for students and allow them to document simulated or clinical patients' assessment. Educators can integrate on the curriculum to complete assignments such as planning of care, background, assessment, and recommendation reports or even develop written situation. As the students review the simulation health records, they can gather information to provide safe patient care, document the simulation assessment and interventions performed. Same thing with the high fidelity and virtual case simulations. The students can perform and apply nursing skills on the given scenario of the simulation. Virtual reality environment can also contribute to the feeling of direct experience of students that like taking a field trip as if they are in the actual scenario. Second is through the discussion and reflection. You can integrate your learning activities through online discussion boards like Canvas, through video conferencing like Zoom, and social media tools like Facebook Messenger. The use or learning management system like Canvas allows the educators to post modules, informations, and assignments online. The completion of some or all of the educational modules online before arriving at the clinical area is efficient for the learner and to the educators as well. because the students have already an idea on the topic, thus she can raise questions based on the modules she have read into applying it to clinical area. Video conferencing calls through the use of Zoom or other tools can be used for the discussion of topics. Plus, you can also ask your students in the engagement of discussions or share their learning experience. You can also use social media tools by sharing relevant topics, a link, a poll, a video clip, or a photo for the students to ponder on. This can spark an engagement in discussion or reflections among your students. The use of mobile and handheld devices are also useful in accessing these tools. You can easily download electronic textbooks or access videos for just in time to review your psychomotor skills. When used appropriately, mobile devices can assist in clinical practice by providing resources for more effective and efficient patient care. It can also be useful in evaluating and verifying new information. However, the use of mobile device in clinical area should be closely monitored by the clinical instructor to make sure that they are following facility policy and using the technology for appropriate activities only. Third is through project production. You can ask your students to make a short video, a presentation, a poster, or a slideshow based on the topic you have given or through their clinical experience. It provides an opportunity for students to communicate learning in a variety of modes wherein they can ask questions, critique, suggest, and disagree. It also stimulates creativity and innovations among your students. Fourth is through information access. The internet provides access to numerous libraries and databases of evidences to support effective nursing care and promote care. For example, you can provide a link or direct your students to visit CDC website to prepare for clinical activity in immunization or to find out more on emerging diseases. In some schools, they provide students an access to online library wherein the school have purchased a third-party online resources where students can have an access to. You can ask your students to find a literature or a topic for discussion related to nursing or healthcare to make a literature review and critique. Educators can assess on the gained understanding and the present knowledge on the literature in the form of written report by students or by highlighting the gaps by stimulating questions. This can also empower your students with a digital literacy to analyze and discern reliable sources by reviewing them together, develop and communicate standards for what makes a good source. A reusable learning object can also be used by students and educators in order to facilitate learning needs and highlight content areas. These are educational resources that includes objectives, content, interactive learning activities, animations, narrated text, visual images that includes factual information, reference materials, assessment, or simulations. While massive open online courses can also provide an opportunity for students to attend an online course taught by the faculty or a nationally known expert. The course have assignments, discussion boards, and quizzes similar to other online courses, but these are for free. Lastly is true drill and practice. You can use a game-based or knowledge-based games like Kahoot to create trivia quizzes on a certain period of time. You can pose or project a question related to learning activities or nursing theories in a large screen, and the students can use their mobile phones to answer, or they can view the questions and submit the answers. You can assess the students' knowledge retainment on the topics you have discussed. Or you can also use the clinical teaching cards, wherein the students can take turns as a teacher and as a coach to apply teaching techniques on the game cards and to apply new approaches to support learning in the clinical environment. You can evaluate feedback mechanisms, including reactions from other students, to reinforce specific skills to positively reinforce learning. You can also use virtual reality scenario or virtual environments for your students to assess knowledge retainment and, and clinical competency evaluation. The virtual world can provide a different narrative ending from the multiple perspective based on learners' ongoing interaction with the environment. Educators do not have predictable and reliable access to disasters and crises for teaching purposes. However, students can prepare for disaster management situations through narratives in a virtual reality scenario. Students are able to engage in deliberate decision making that will produce varying outcomes. They can see the consequences of action or inaction from multiple perspectives. For students inhabiting in the virtual world, an error becomes an opportunity for learning, reflection, and potential behavior changes. Integrating technology into clinical teaching allows for more effective communication between students and educators. Using technology creates space for students to have a voice in their learning. Students are empowered to take responsibility of their learning through giving feedback on lessons, participating in projects, and learning activities that cultivates their individuality and critical thinking. Traditional teaching methods cannot be replaced by online teaching. It has its own valuable benefits, such as the interpersonal skills it teaches. However, when the two are combined, this can provide a new learning opportunities not only for the students but for the educators as well. The role of educators in a technology-driven world should guide the students on how to use and make advantage of the technologies creatively, effectively, and safely. That's all for my discussion on how to integrate technology in clinical teaching. So future educators, do you have any preferred technology in mind to be used or integrate in your clinical teaching? Are you now prepared to use it in your teaching? Well, congratulations! Hoping to see you soon integrating these technologies in your class. See you!